Hey friends, it's Michelle, the Downsized Diva, and today I'm doing a video that's a little bit different. You guys usually see me in my car driving around, picking up Instacart orders, and today I'm not doing that. I actually have started collecting treasures for my new junk journaling journey, and I wanted to share with you my haul that I've picked up over the last week. Basically what I'm going to be doing, I think moving forward, is more videos dealing with crafting, especially paper crafts, and all kinds of great stuff, I guess. So without further ado, let's get started on the treasure hunt that I went on this week. So I hit a couple of thrift stores, and what I've been looking for have been old books, old paper. I'm not sure if any of you guys know what junk journaling is, but basically junk journaling is taking junk and creating journals with them. But today is going to be about my haul. So let's get started with that, shall we? I have been perusing or going through the thrift stores looking for things that I think are going to be interesting. And I came across this book, and not just this book, this book. So I have two of them. They were originally $3.99, no, $2.99 a piece. See, right there, $2.99 a piece. And I got them for 50% off. So I basically got both books for $3. The unique and interesting thing about these books is that it's 2 volumes of something called Glade Bourgère or something. But when I looked inside these books, I was really intrigued because I like things that are really, really old or unique. Sorry, I have to remove my jacket because I'm a little warm now. It got really cold the last couple of days here in Colorado, and I guess fall kind of skipped out on us, and now we're going to go right into winter because we're supposed to have snow again. Oh my gosh, I can't with the snow. But anyway, we're not going to talk about it. Let's will the snow to go somewhere else, shall we? Okay, so these 2 books are interesting because they have this really cool stamp right here in the middle. I can't really read what it says. It's kind of light here where it's written, but it looks like some kind of jockey or something in some kind of cart with a horse. That's what it looks like to me. So anyway, I wanted to show you these 2 books first because they're really cool. It says Elias Kramer, and I can't read the rest of it. So I don't know what that says. And the reason why I don't know what it says is because these were printed in Oslo, Norway in 1935. So I thought that these would be cool books because they have, you know, a lot of antiquing around the pages, and they're in great shape. These pages are very stiff, and they're thicker than the usual tissue paper or parchment that books were printed on back in the 20s and 30s and whatnot. But I thought that these were really cool, and I like the covers too. So these will become junk journals at some point in time, but I'm not sure when. Oh, and in case you're wondering, I'm filming this video with my camera, my actual camera. Usually my videos are done on my phone. And today I thought, you know what? I bought this camera 6 months ago and I haven't used it for much. I've taken some pictures with it and got a little bit of video footage with it, but I thought, you know what? This would be the perfect time to break this puppy out and get it used. So I have a Canon M30, at least I think that's what it is. Let me look. I have no idea. I think it's an M30. I bought it back in May, just before I started putting out YouTube videos, and I never broke it out because I paid a lot of money for this camera. Well, and you know, a lot of money for me is several $100s. I did get it on sale, but it was still pretty expensive. So I decided, you know, maybe I won't use this right away. So I started using my phone, and it was so much easier to do the videos in the car with the little holder that I have in my car that's attached to my vent, that, you know, it just became easier to do videos that way than to break this thing out and get the tripod and the whole setup. And now I've decided that Instacart might not be my only subject matter. that I want to do something else. And since I have this camera, I'm going to use it. So with that, these two books I thought were really cool. And like I said, I only paid $3 for both of them. So, and they're very nicely bound. They're old. They're from 1935. There are no tears. Of course, the covers are a little worn, but you know what? That kind of adds to the charm, right? So I got these two books here. So let's move along. I also found this book, and it's called The Complete Works of O. Henry. And I did pay full price. I paid $3.99 for it, but it's really, really cool. It's in fabulous shape. I love the color of the cover, and it's got some kind of little, it says E or F, FW, I think. Let's see if I can get that in there. Maybe you can tell me. Yep, it looks like FW, which is pretty cool. I don't know what FW stands for, but you know, it's a really neat cover, and I kind of liked it. And I saw it a few days before I actually went back and bought it. And the really cool thing is some lady owned it, and she wrote her name and address in here. And she had it in March of 1927. That's pretty cool. I love how they used to have their handwriting so precise and interesting back in the 20s. And I just thought it was really cool that this was somebody's book. They liked this book, and it was printed by Doubleday, Page and Company for Funk and Wagnall's Company in 1926. That's pretty cool. But it's you know, it's an old book of stories and poems by this guy named O. Henry, and I have no idea who he is. But the reason I like this book is because it has these really thin, aged pages. And if you guys don't know, or maybe you do know, a couple of videos back, I told you how much I love paper crafts. Well, it's not just paper crafts, it's paper. I have this obsession for paper. Listen to that. Doesn't that just give you chills? It's awesome. But I thought that this would be a great book to A, take apart, and B, these pages can be used for all kinds of things. Now, I don't know if you guys have done any research on junk journaling or just journaling in general. I've been watching videos. Let me tell you, this whole week, actually for the last 2 weeks, I've been watching videos on junk journaling. There's this lady called Nick the Booksmith. If you haven't watched her yet, go watch her because she has got some fantastic ideas. She's extremely talented, and her videos are just really on point. So if I can do it like she does, great. I think I'm going to probably have to put my own spin on things because you guys know me, I'm kind of sarcastic, but that is what it is. So hold on a second. I have to get something to drink. I'm really thirsty. So I like this book because it's aged, it's antiqued, it's in pristine condition, and you know, it's going to break my heart to cut this thing up. So I'm probably not going to do it anytime soon, but I want to show you that I got this really cool book here. So got this one, but wait, there's more. Okay, so yesterday I was in a different thrift store and I came across this cool book, and it's called Handwriting Analysis: The Science of Determining Personality by Graphoanalysis. And I thought, you know what, that's pretty neat. And then somebody did write in it. See, I've noticed a theme. Back in the early part of the 19th century, or the 20th century, whenever 1900s were, oh my goodness, I can't even think straight. Whenever the early part of the 1900s was, people would always inscribe something in books. And I just thought that that was like the coolest thing, that somebody named Jean gave somebody named Betty this book. And I can kind of put it up there for you. And apparently Betty was a traveler, maybe. It says, "Dear Betty, to one of the most wonderful persons I have ever known." Really nice. "Bon voyage, and may God grant you much happiness in your travels. Jean Benton." Don't know who Jean is. I don't know who Betty is either, but they must have been friends, and Betty must have been going on a trip. So Jean gave this to Betty, and I don't know why. I have no clue, but the copyright on this particular book was from 1966. So I'll kind of show you. It looks like the original copyright was 1959, but then this particular book was printed in 1966. So that's pretty cool. So it's not as old as the other ones I've just showed you, but it's pretty neat nonetheless. And it's actually intact. It's in great condition. And it just tells you essentially that you can tell somebody's personality and habits and mannerisms based on the way that they write. So this will be an interesting book to use, and the pages out of it as well. And just one thing I want to tell you, most of the videos that I've been watching tell you that if you're going to find old books that you're going to want to use in your journals or junk journaling, that you should find books that have this kind of thing going on. Let me see if you can see that. You see this gap right here? This gap means that this part is the only thing, this part right here is the only thing holding these pages in this book. So it's this really thick paper, and you should be able to easily cut these down. Let me see if you can see that. Sorry, I'm not watching my monitor, I'm watching my book. You can cut this part here and remove this part out and then have just the cover to use. And this is a beautiful cover. I really like it. Green is one of my favorite colors. That's something you know now. I'm going to tell you that every time I tell you something new. So the next book I found, and I did find some really cool stuff. This one is called Castle's Illustrated Shakespeare. Another really pretty embossed kind of cover. And this one also was owned by the lady that owned the green book, but she had this book in 1925. So that's pretty awesome. And basically this is it's an illustrated book of Shakespeare's comedies, histories, tragedies, sonnets, and poems. And this one was printed or copyrighted sometime. I don't know. Let me see if I can find when it was copyrighted, because it's pretty old. And I don't know. It could be missing something, but do you see how aged this paper is? Yeah, I don't know the copyright date on this one. I may never know. If I find it, I'll pop it in, but I'm not going to look for it. But anyway, it has pictures, and it's really, 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 really cool. I mean, if you've read or know about Shakespeare, he was very, very busy with his writing. I'm not a very big literary fanatic, but I have read some Shakespeare back when I was in college, and it looks like it's all here. So yeah, this is another really, really nice book, and it's also made the same way with that whole little hole there. So that's pretty cool. All right, moving right along. This is probably my favorite of all of the books that I found so far. This one is Webster's Secondary School Dictionary. And there again, somebody wrote their name in it. These people are writing in their books, and then somebody else wrote in it. So I don't know how many people had this book, but it looks like a lot of people had it. It is definitely a dictionary. It says there's 1,000 illustrations in this book, which is pretty cool as far as I'm concerned. So the copyright on this one is 1913. Excuse me. So this book is probably the oldest of all of the books, unless this Shakespeare book over here is old, but well, it's obviously old, Michelle. Come on, get it together. But this one is the oldest one that I'm aware of. So as I was thumbing through this book, yeah, it's filled with dictionary words, but it has got so many cool illustrations. I'm going to try to bring this closer so you can see how detailed these illustrations are. I mean, look at that. It's gorgeous. And whatever a butterine is, that's pretty neat. Let's see if I can read that definition to you. A butterine is a oleomargarine. Okay. Moving right along. This book is intact. It's not missing any pages. It does have some tearing right here, which is fine because when you go to pull this out of the binding, it'll make life easier. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, I paid $3.99 for this one, full price. I paid $3.99 for this one, full price. I paid $1 for this one. Can't go wrong, but I was at a different thrift store when I found this one. And then this one I paid $3.99 for. So right now, and this paper was in there. I don't know what this is. It must have been a bookmark. Oh, wow. This is the first time I'm seeing this. Wow, that's old, and that's pretty cool. It's just a star that says trademark. Huh. You never know what you're going to find when you open up a book. So that's pretty neat. I just thought it was like folded, well, it is a folded piece of paper, obviously, but I didn't know what kind of folded piece of paper it was, but it's very old, so that's going to stay in there for right now. So yeah, $3.99. And then these were collectively $3. So I've got 3 plus 4 is 7, plus 1 is 8, plus 4 is 12, plus 4 is 16. So I'm up to $16 plus tax in books, but I've got supplies that are probably gonna last me the rest of my life and maybe the lives of other people I know too. So anyway, that's the books. But I'm not finished yet. I found some other pretty neat stuff. So, actually I did find a couple of other books, but they're not books. These are books of sheet music. So I went to a thrift store yesterday, and the price was marked $2, but it was 20% off, so I paid $1.60 for this. And it's called Sing Sociability Songs. Keep America Singing. So it's a songbook of some sort, printed in 1943. Esther Bell owned this book. See? Esther wrote her name in it. Did you ever wonder what people did back in the 20s and the 30s and the 40s and why they felt compelled to write their name in books? But anyway, this is a nicely aged and weathered songbook of some sort, and it's got music, which I love sheet music. It's just, there's just something about sheet music that just sings to me. Anyway, I thought this would be really cool for making pages in my journals. So I have that. So now we're up to what, 16, 17, let's say $18. And then I found this, and this book is tore up. I paid, again, 20% off $2. I paid $1.60 for it, but this thing is shot out, let me tell you. I don't know the copyright on this. I was looking for it, but I can't find it. I'm assuming 30s, 40s, something like that. But it's got just the music with no words, and it's got, you know, some interesting songs. I don't know how to say some of these words, but you know, it's old sheet music. And let me show you how badly worn this is. Like, it's worn out. It has probably seen lifetimes of use, and it was made in New York, in Chicago. It says McKinley Music Company, Chicago or New York, made in USA, and it's the world famous. Ooh, world famous. That's pretty cool. So anyway, I found these, and I thought these would be great too. I don't have any examples of junk journals because, like I told you, I have not made one yet, and we are going to make my first one and maybe your first one together. But that's not going to be for a video or two because I'm still doing my research to see how to bind them and put them together, and there's so many different techniques and styles, and oh my gosh, my mind is just racing with all of the possibilities. But I still have a couple more things I want to share. So I went to Harbor Freight, and you know how Harbor Freight has all this cool stuff. They have tools, and they have everything. There's probably not much that Harbor Freight doesn't have as far as tools are concerned. So I figured, you know what? I had a coupon for these clips for 99 cents. And I thought, you know what? I've seen Nick the Booksmith use them in her videos, and I thought, you know, when you're trying to glue stuff together and keep it hold it, oh my goodness, to keep it held together, that these would come in handy. So for $1, you can't beat it. And then because I bought something, I had another coupon and I got a free flashlight. Hey, go Michelle. It's your birthday. Oh my God, no, sorry. So sorry, I'm getting a little silly now. So yeah, so I got that. And then last but not least, I was wandering around another thrift store. Actually, I think this was yesterday. And I came across this tin just sitting there on a shelf, and I'm like, making memories. That's a company that makes scrapbooking supplies. I wonder what's in the box, right? So I open it, and oh, before I open it, and some of you may already know what this is, so shh, don't tell anybody. Let's wait a minute and, you know, build some anticipation, some excitement, right? So oh my God, I lost my train of thought. The train came by and took my thoughts with it. Okay, never mind. Oh no, I remember what I was going to talk about. There's some tools that you need when you're going to be junk journaling, and one of them happens to be an awl, A-W-L. And if you're not familiar with what an awl is, basically it's a handle with a long piercing piece of metal. And I've been looking for one of those. I looked in the craft stores and I've looked online, and they're not cheap. They're really not cheap. So I just, you know, I haven't bought one. I figured, you know what? Eventually I'll find one. Maybe I'll find one for a price I like. I haven't been to Home Depot yet though. So that's another story. But anyway, I had to get a drink again because all this talking is making me thirsty, guys. All right, so when I found this box, I thought, making memories. They're a scrapbook making company, and yes, I did pay $5 for it. After tax, it was like $5.10. So yeah, so I'm up to what, 20, let's just say I spent $25 on supplies that, you know, I'm going to eventually need. And I did have birthday money because my birthday was a couple weeks ago, so I didn't spend money of my own. I spent birthday money on supplies to do a new and creative and wonderful hobby that I think I'm going to love, and I think you guys are going to love it too. As I build these new videos and all of these great projects, I hope you guys will join along, and you know, maybe you can send me videos of things that you're doing or pictures or something. I don't know, I'm losing track. Okay, so Making Memories is a company that makes scrapbooking stuff, and when I saw this, I was like, you know, I wonder what's in the box. So let's do a drum roll. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? We have, I can't get the box open. Okay, come on. All right, hold on, guys. I will get it open. All right, so here's the lid. And it's actually a pretty heavy box. It's pretty cool, actually. So pretty heavy box. Inside is a lot of different tools. One in which I did not realize is a small awl of sorts, which is perfect for what I want it to do right now. So we've got this, and we've got needle nose pliers. This is actually a punch kit, which is really cool. You have this. I don't know if I can, sorry, I'm not good at doing this backwards. Come on, focus, focus, focus. There we go. Oh, almost. Ta-da! This, you actually take the hammer and you beat it on this on paper, and it pokes a hole through stuff, and there's some needles in here, and there's other tips for it, a marker, and then this little ball peen hammer. And I got to show you something really quick before the video is over, because I figured I would try this out today and see what it does. And basically it's pretty neat. It pokes holes in paper right there, see? But you hit it pretty hard to make it go through, and there's about, I think there's 3 sheets here. I think I originally had 5 sheets and they were flat, and I did that hole right there, and then I was playing around with it a little bit more after I took a couple of sheets off. But I was using this as a backer, and I don't know if you can see it, but it punched through that too. So you got to use something a little bit thicker, a little bit sturdier. So I found this and I thought maybe I could use this, and it punched holes in that too, but it didn't go all the way through. So something thick if you're going to be punching paper with that. So I think I'm just about finished with this video. I hope you like my haul. Like I said, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 regular books, these fabulous music books or sheet music, my clips, my free flashlight because I like free, and this really cool little tool set. Now it was missing an item, which is fine. I looked it up online to see what it was, and it was a pair of curved tweezers. Well, I have 2 or 3 pairs of curved tweezers, so no great loss there. Anyway, I hope you like the haul that I shared, and you guys will see these items in my upcoming junk journaling videos. So I think that's all I have for you guys today. I may go through and do kind of a what is junk journaling video or something, but I don't know. If you guys really want to know what it is right away, check YouTube. There's hundreds, if not thousands, of other people doing this, but you know, I'm not like everybody else. I'm gonna do my own thing. So I hope you watch my videos, and maybe we can work together and make something beautiful. So until next time, you guys already know, remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and ring that bell so you ring that bell so you're notified of when new videos become available. Until next time, friends, you might see my face, or maybe you'll see my hands. But until next time, take care, have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one.